Well, good afternoon, everybody. Man, is it a hot one. It is 94 or 95 degrees, I believe. So, no rain inside again, burning up, but chores must go on. Just got back from the doctor, and while I was there, I went ahead and swung by Lowe's, picked up some rock and some potting soil, because I got a couple projects. One of them we're gonna go ahead and start today. I like to put all this rock just on the outside lip of my shop here. And the reason I do that is so you're not driving on this big heavy lip, which it is about 18 inches in the ground, but I like to have a nice smooth transition. Plus, I don't want all the weight of, like I say, a tractor or truck right on the edge of the concrete. I feel like packing rock up to it might keep it from chipping eventually, but there is a pretty deep footer here. But nevertheless, this rock has been here for a while. You can see it's dropped down. See the size of my lip here now, it's dropped down a couple of inches, but it's nice and hard packed. So we're gonna go ahead and add another layer of this pebble slash rock on top, just to make it look nicer, and again, have a nice smooth transition driving into the shop. Also, I use this same type of rock for my drip edge over here off the barn. And I know y'all can't really tell, but this whole property just steadily slopes that way. It also slopes this direction as well. So I wind up with water running underneath my building some, and eventually one of these days I'm going to take all this equipment out and level this whole inside, and then push a little berm to the back and kind of make a French drain or something on the back end side. So that'll be a future project, and I plan on probably putting like some asphalt millings or something underneath here, so this isn't dirt anymore. But as you can see, this drip edge drips behind the shop, and I had to put rock in here because it was just cutting a channel. When water falls that far, it just beats the dirt and washes it away. So this has held up really well. This rock's actually several inches deep in there, but there's some areas that's starting to wash out and kind of go over. It's brought some dirt back in, as well as down here. Some of the rock's starting to get covered up. So I'm gonna put a few bags out here and just kind of make this look a little nicer. Make sure that my drip edge is nothing but rock and I'm not beating any more dirt out. Once that's all said and done, won't be getting to it today, but I may include it on this video, otherwise it'll be on the next one. Bought quite a bit of garden soil as well. And that is because we're gonna be putting a small raised bed garden in on the other side of my building over here. I have absolutely missed having a garden. Love having gardens, but over the last couple of years I have not grown one because I've been back and forth between this place and our house that we just sold. So if you grow a garden, you know it requires your attention every day. I can't be having a garden but be over here for a week or two at a time, over there a week or two at a time. I just would never be able to take care of it. So I'm kind of jonesing for a garden. It's the wrong time of year going into winter, but it is Florida, so we can absolutely do a fall garden. And one thing I was successful with doing at our other place was planting a garden alongside my building over there, especially late in the winter. These buildings wind up heating up in the daytime. This is facing south. This holds some heat through the night, so I'm gonna put a raised bed garden just on the outside of the building, move these cans, put me probably a 16-foot long by 4-foot wide raised bed garden right there. Then I can come out here and do stuff in the winter. I had real good luck doing cabbage, lettuce. There's just all different kinds of fall crops that you can do. So that'll give me something to kind of play with this fall, get a little bit of vegetables off of it. And then next spring, we're gonna be putting our big garden in. So we got to run plumbing, prepare the ground for that. So that'll be a pretty cool project for the channel. Enough rambling on. Let's go ahead and get the tractor bucket hooked up, get the tractor going. We'll unload all that stuff out of the back of the truck, start spreading some rock. Well, that didn't take too long, and thank goodness for having a tractor. God, that makes a heck of a difference. That's 800 pounds worth of stone there that I just toted around where I needed it and drug one bag off at a time. So maybe you could see what I've done here. This was stopping about right here. I went ahead and carried it on up. You can't tell, but there is a hump right here all the way down, and it was starting to wash some of that back as the rain splattered up there. And it was starting to actually run across right here. So this rock's kind of serving as riprap, so to speak. So as the water comes rushing down here and comes on out the end, it won't wash the dirt away. And I know this looks relatively flat, but it's actually probably a foot or so higher to right about here where I'm pointing than where I'm at right now. So the water does tend to flow quite quickly this direction. So that should get me going there for a while. Like I said, my eventual plan is to take everything out from underneath this building once we sell the house and get the camper out of the way. And then I'm gonna start leveling underneath and push dirt back here and kind of make this hump a little more pronounced so water won't run in here. Then I'm gonna coat the inside with something like asphalt millings or pea gravel, something like that. Eventually, I think we're gonna wind up scraping and covering our road in millings or gravel. So whatever I do the road in, I'll do the building in. And I have a plan to come back about 10 foot off of this concrete apron, scrape and put kind of a milling or pebble pad in out there as well, so I can put my sawhorses on and cut. And I just think it'll look nicer pulling in. Now, I did wind up running short. Excuse the mess, I got stuff strode everywhere. I'm about to make a trip to the dump. But I did wind up running a few bags short. Go figure. Golly, story of my life. Plus, I want to fill a little bit more in here, but you can see the difference. You can look at the lip right here. That's how it was. And then now everything's kind of packed in and level. Now this will continue to settle with time, and especially as I'm driving in and out with the tractor. So I'll have to constantly keep filling this in some, but it'll get more and more compacted. So that's one little project down. That's probably gonna knock this video up for today. However, I think I'm gonna do a double project on this video. Man, it's hot. And tomorrow I'm heading back to get lumber, so I'll just pick up some more rock. And I'm either gonna, 1, do the shooting house steps, 2, do my raised bed garden, or 3, I've got another little project around here. I'm gonna include one of these on the video along with this. This sink right here, I'm gonna mount out here, and I think I wanna go ahead and fold it up. It makes an excellent cutting board type sink. And I wanna mount it on some 4x4s in the frame out here, and eventually my plan is to build a shed off of this building, kind of an overhang. So when I come out here and skin my deer, clean fish that I want to scale and don't want to make a mess inside the room, I've got a nice little overhang out here with a hoist to lift the animals for processing. And I can kind of stay out of the weather. And I'll probably put another little gravel pad back here. But I would like to go ahead and get this sink mounted. You can buy these cheap constantly, so if it ever wears out, get another one off of Amazon or from Academy, bolt it right back down to the frame that I'll make, and I'll go ahead and plumb it in and hook it to this drain that just kind of goes out the back side of the building so you're not standing in water. So that'll probably be one of the 3 projects I'll include on this video. So I'll see y'all back here in the morning, and we'll knock another one of these projects out. It's the next day, and goodness gracious, people, it is hot. It is 97 degrees. We're actually setting records today and tomorrow. Tomorrow maybe 98 they're calling for. And it's the end of September. This is nuts. This is crazy. This is the hottest I can ever remember it being in September. No rain on the radar, so I'm mighty worried. But the project that I have decided to include on this video, by the way, I got some more rock. Finished this up today. Just got back from Lowe's. But the only project I feel like tackling is one with the fans going and out of the sun. So I'm going to take this outdoor fish cutting board. These are the ones that I think you get them at Walmart, but I know you for sure get it on Amazon and like places like Academy Sports. So I've used this for quite a few years. It's held up great. It's got a nice little sink in there. And being that we've got dove season coming up this weekend, and I want some more to clean the dove, preferably outside with all the feathers, I'm gonna go ahead and get this on a permanent base and plumb it into a drain, hook it up to some water. So it comes with a little spigot. Like I said, this is held up very well. You can get them pretty cheap, so if this ever wears out, I can get another one. But all I'm gonna do is just take these legs off. They are actually starting to rust out pretty bad, so it's time to get them gone. There's just a few screws every so often, and then all I'm gonna be left with is just this plastic piece. I'm gonna build me a wooden frame that I can screw and attach this to, put a couple 4x4s in the ground around the building, and then I'll plumb everything up. So I doubt I'll get all of that done today, but this will probably be a 3-day video right here. We'll go ahead and get started on this today, get this frame out, build our new wooden frame, and then I'd imagine it'd be tomorrow before I'll finish up the plumbing and get the post in the ground. But well, there it is, short and sweet. Nothing fancy about it. Just built a 2x6 box frame for this to set down on. And I got to figure out a way to attach this. I'll probably just use some L brackets on the inside, screw up into the bottom of the table and into the side. Only thing is, because the table's rounded, you know, the 2x6 does stick out here. I don't know if I'm too terribly worried about that. I might knock this corner off. Majority of your work and you're going to be doing this from here anyway. So now the next task will be to cut old 4x4 in half, go sink that down in the ground, get it plumbed and cut off level, and then we'll mount this frame to it, come back, mount the table to the frame. Once I figure out a way I'm gonna do that, like I said, I think I'm gonna use L brackets from underneath. That way this can always be very easily removable if I need to swap it out for another one. And then I think tomorrow we'll get back around there and tie the plumbing into this, and it'll be a little bit different way, not quite like you're thinking. It's not going to be household plumbing. The drain will be, but this actually runs off of a water spigot. So I've just got to put a Y adapter in, run a short hose over to this, and mount the spigot on this. So it's a pretty simple design, but give me a nice little fish cleaning station outside if I don't feel like dirtying up inside. And like I said, if I want to clean something bloody like some dove or feathers everywhere, I don't want that all in my processing room. So this just gives me another table outside, and something especially like scaling fish. I definitely hate scaling fish inside. Scales go everywhere. So I can come outside real quick, knock the scales off, hose this off straight to the ground, going back inside. Plus the other nice thing about where I'm mounting this, I showed you earlier in the video, I'm eventually going to build a little shed or roof off the side of my building over there, and I'll put a hook or support across to where I can hang my deer up. So once I cut, like I say, a back strap off a deer or a shoulder or ham, I can go right over there and throw it on this table, clean the hair off and the sinew off real quick, and then I can put it in the cooler. So this gives me an outside table for a quick processing of animals like deer and hogs and whatever animals we decide to raise down the road and butcher on the place. So it's been a long time coming. Probably should have already had this done, but hey, that's life. I've let a lot of other projects take priority. All right, I've got my post in and cut off. Typically, I would normally do like I done my shooting house, bury the post and then cut them off. But being I've already got the chop saw hooked up or miter saw hooked up, it was easy just to pack the holes, throw the level on, make a mark, and level both posts up. I mean, as you can see, we're dead on the money. So now, I'm gonna get the frame up there bolted in, get everything leveled up, and then lightly pack this dirt in and figure out how I'm gonna mount this sink. I know some of y'all cringing at the sight of me working in flip-flops, but again, guys, it's over 100 today on the heat index. You're just going to have to bear with me. All right, all I'm doing now is making a center mark on these outside 2x6s so I can center my post up. Now I'm just going to do a quick check for level since I've got everything centered up and shoot a couple screws in, then I'll pack these holes tight. Dead on the money. Alright, I forgot to tell y'all that I've got my working height once the table is installed at 36 inches. That's a pretty comfortable standard working height, at least for me. I've also got this to where I'm going to go ahead and mount it to the building, put one heavy-duty bolt right through this steel frame in here, so that should have it really solid. But I went ahead and have got this slightly tilted to the rear. This is not level this way, it is this direction. That way my water will run to the back and there's a trough on that table and run off, so it's not running off the table onto my feet. So that's kind of important to do with a table like this as well. You want it tilted slightly to the rear, especially if it has a trough to run the water off. All right, that's solid. Alright, something pretty important that just popped up in my head that I wanted to share. I'm going to try to find something a little better later, like maybe a strip of rubber. But I put this aluminum strip back here, I don't know if y'all can see that, to space this off the wall. Because I've got to get used to this new salt cured, pressure treated wood. It's not like the old arsenic cured. And I have heard rumors that if you put this against metal or tin, it'll rust it out. So as you can see, that aluminum has spaced it out to where I got a pretty decent gap back there now. And all that's holding this against the wall is just that one bolt. And I did use exterior screws that are rated for pressure treated as well. So keep that in mind whenever you're working with this new pressure treated stuff. You put it against tin without a regular piece of wood in between or some kind of buffer. The rumors are it can rust it out, and I don't want to do that to my brand new building. Alright, well, went inside, ate my lunch, came back outside, and I'm greeted by probably the hottest part of the day. But at least I got shade here for just a little while longer, probably another hour or so, and this spot will not be in the shade, so I'm gonna try to get with it. Probably not gonna do a whole bunch of explaining on this. I'll just probably record me putting a few pieces together, and then at the end I'll kind of take time to stop and explain everything that I've done. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and get with it. Well, it's successful now. And by that, I had a blowout, as you can see by the wet dirt down there. Turns out inside here, this has a very special cone-shaped rubber O-ring where the hose connects. So that was split, dry rotted most likely because this has been sitting out for a long time. That faucet, I hadn't used that portion of this cutting board. So I'm pretty well done now. I found a suitable replacement in the building. Thank goodness, I hang on to a lot of old stuff, and it's got it sealed up now. But I still got to make a trip to the hardware store to get stainless screws here to finish this off and make it look nice. And I'll go ahead and pick one of those special little rubber O-rings. This is going to be nice though. Man, this is going to be nice. Real simple design. I done checked for leaks. Don't see nothing dripping out of the connections I made. That actually went extremely quick. Should have recorded that. I thought it was going to take me a lot longer than it did to tie into this drain line. Now some of y'all may be looking at that and wondering why I didn't do a S-trap or P-trap as they call it. There's no need. There's two reasons for a P-trap. One, to keep bugs from coming back up. Well, it's an outdoor sink. Bugs can just get on top if they want to. And two, those traps keep smells down. Well, as you can see, it's just an old sink, and I got it dumping straight to the ground here, so there's no smells to come back up the pipe. It's not like it's going into you know, a septic tank or something. And I designed this building. Well, actually, this building is on a slope, you can't tell, but I designed the back side of it. I took the box blade in here a while back before I started recording for the channel, and there is like a swell here that I dug out that you can't really tell. And I'm probably gonna fill this in with more rock down the road. But we've had some very hard rains over the summer. This has never filled up, never got in the shop. I've got this designed where it'll run out each end. I ditch that in out, it'll run around the building and keep flowing down the property. As well as right here, you can't tell. This is a low spot that I dug out and trenched around to this side, and it just kind of runs out in the yard that direction. So I'll never run water long enough here that it could ever get in the building. Plus, it just can't anyways. It can run out both ends before it'll ever fill up. So this should work pretty well. I'm pretty excited about this. As basic and simple as this is going to be nice. Come out here and clean meat on, clean fish on, make a mess. Like I said, if I want to scale some fish, I can do it, rinse it off. And I've already said it twice in this video, but my plan is to build an overhang out about 10 to 15 feet, 10 to 15 foot wide, and this sink's going to be the center of that. It'll be underneath a overhang. It'll have lights on it, so I can come out at nighttime. Like I said, hoist a deer up, clean it, throw the meat right on there, bone it out if I want to, clean the sinew off, you name it, put it in a cooler. I can keep buckets out here. So this is going to be a nice addition to the nice big stainless sink that I already have inside. So one project off the list. I can't wait to use this. If you watch the outdoor channel, our other channel, link will be in the description, you'll be seeing me use this a little more often. I'll definitely be cleaning some game on it very soon, I hope. So with that said, it's burning up hot. I'm sweating. Oh my goodness, this is the hottest September I can ever remember. I'm gonna end the video right here. Thank y'all so much for watching. I've got a couple more projects coming up. I'm gonna do the stairs to the shooting house over the next couple days. I'll record that, get that edited. Then I'm also gonna do a raised bed garden. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll have a video coming out on both those things. Well, it's almost the weekend. By the time I post this, it might actually be past the dove shoot. Most likely it will. So if you haven't watched the dove shoot, I'm hoping I get video to do that this weekend. I don't see any reason why not. Again, click the link down in the description, head over to our outdoor channel and watch a shoot dove that you've been watching me do these food plots on all summer long. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, like, share, subscribe.